back to round 5 of the Daniel Ricciado career mode. We currently lead the championship by, I think it said 6 points. In practice, we were second. We were very competitive in practice. In Q1, Merry, Stephens, Alonso, Button and Sainz were all knocked out. In Q2 though, Verstappen, Grosjean, Maldonado, Ericsson and Felipe Nasr all missed the cut. And you join us now in Q3, where this is the lap you're seeing now is actually my fastest lap. It was the first lap of the session, and we'll see where it can put us on the grid. Spain, although not one of my favourite tracks on the F1 calendar, I've said in a few previous videos I'd happily see it dropped off the F1 calendar. We're actually quite quick here around. We're quite quick around here actually, so maybe we shouldn't be throwing it off the calendar just yet. As we've gone purple through the first sector, we were speaking of which, we were really strong through the first sector all weekend. I think we were pretty much in every single, we were all the time. Blimey, come on, let's move up there. We were pretty much always the fastest through that first sector. Middle sector, we're not very strong through the middle sector. It's where a lot of the high-speed corners are, and turn 5 is always a tricky corner, as is this one. This corner is an absolute nightmare, and you'll see throughout the race we struggle so much to do braking through there. We don't go purple. We do lose time through the high-speed corners. I think I was running 3-1 wings, so the first time this season that we aren't running 1-1 wings, so we'll see how it does to us as we take a bit too much speed through the final chicane, and it just clout the curb and throws us wide. But let's see what this lap can do for us, and in fact it's going to put us on provisional pole for the Spanish Grand Prix, and as I said, we don't improve on our second lap, so we're about to find out where we're going to start. Our objective was to finish 6th in qualifying, and Daniel Ricciado's happy, so we're at least in the top 6. And in fact, nobody else managed to improve their times. And as you can see, clarification.
Fantastic job in qualifying today from the Australian Daniel Ricciado. He's going to be hard to beat now in tomorrow's race.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
7th, Perez 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, and Daniel Kvyat 10th. Force India definitely looking strong for some solid points. But if we look to the front, hopefully we can get a podium, if not our 3rd win in a row. So it's time for the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya.
Good afternoon and welcome to Catalunya, home of the Spanish Grand Prix. The cars are on the grid and the crowd's excitement is building, ahead of lights out. On pole is Daniel Ricciado, but he won't be resting on his laurels. We saw him after qualifying in the garage with his race engineer, trying to analyse where he can claw back more time around this track.
He'll want to stay out of trouble over the first few laps, but he'll be determined not to let any cars past him. If he can maintain that position once everything's settled down, he'll have a massive advantage and be able to control the race.
Who do you think is set for a strong outing here today?
Valtteri Bottas looked in a bullish mood in the driver's press conference, a real fire in his eyes, so expect a strong result from the Finn today.
So, Valtteri Bottas looks like the man to watch according to Anthony Davidson. So it's time for the Spanish Grand Prix. Of course it's a 25% race, so it is a one-stop. The recommended pit stop lap is about lap 8. We've got 5 lights and away we go, and we haven't had a good start at all here. Just lack the traction off the line, and we've got both Mercedes drivers going either side of us as Hamilton and Rosberg are going to dice it out. We're going to try and get back up the inside into turn 1. We've got back past Hamilton, who makes contact with us. We throw up our hand in frustration, but Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes has managed to get away, and that's not really the start we wanted. It's the first time this season we've lost places at the start, and it's the one time we didn't really want to be losing places at the start. But now, at this moment in time, although we've got Hamilton in close proximity, and he's probably closer to us than we are to Rosberg, I was determined to get back past Nico Rosberg, because we really do have the pace this weekend. My mindset was going, after how quick we were in practice and qualifying, was that we can go into this race and really compete and not just be parking the bus. Here's a replay of the start though, and as you can see, both Mercedes just went either side of us, and and we've got a Force India all over the shop at the moment. As you can see, they're going 2 by 2. Force Indias, Williams, Ferraris, Mercedes, and we're just in there as well. As we did dip a tyre onto the grass. But we did manage to hold on to second place as the 2 Ferraris are dicing as well. But as I was saying before, I was really hopeful that we'd be able to compete and not just park the bus like we did in China. Although we played a strategic call that won us the race in China, and we did park the bus a little bit in Bahrain. But as you can see, Nico Rosberg just getting the perfect launch, and Lewis Hamilton had arguably a better launch, but he was on the outside as he kind of leads a little bit. But as we run down into turn 1, just the way the track goes, it just went in favour of Rosberg, and look at the traction Rosberg gets. Hamilton gets a snap of oversteer and hits our side pod, giving us a little bit of damage. Here's a replay from our point of view. As you can see, we just had to get over to the inside. If you've watched the previous videos, you'll understand that pretty much all our race depends on the start, as we just dive it up the inside. But as you can see, there's the strength-handed frustration of Hamilton just sliding into our car a little bit. But as you join us here on the start of lap 2, Rosberg's gone purple because he finished the first lap first. And as we come down into turn 1, we do have a little look as Rosberg locks up ahead. We do kind of exceed the track limits a little bit, but we are pushing so hard. I believe we put the car into rich mixes. We're going to dive it up the inside. We get very close to hitting Rosberg's rear tyre. As we join on later into the lap, we have another late braking manoeuvre. It was a bit of a dive bomb, and we run wide and just lose a bit more time. It just puts Hamilton a little bit closer to us. But this is the first time I've played F1 2015 in just over a week. I've been playing a lot of FIFA, and I felt rusty when I was recording this. I just dived straight into career mode. As you can see at the start of lap 3, we're all over the back of Nico Rosberg in the first sector. As I said, we were very, very strong in this first sector, and we're going to dive it up the inside into turn 4. We do bang tyres as we get very close. Again, I think both of us threw our hands up in frustration, but we've got the move done on Nico Rosberg, and we've fought back to take the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix on pure speed, race pace. So it's positive signs at the moment for us. As you can see on the replay camera, we did lock up into turn 1. I think we make our time up in turn 3. I feel like we can take turn 3 a lot faster than the AI. We did get a really good run through turn 3, and Rosberg left the inside open, although he did try and hang it around the outside, but we kind of just squeezed him a little bit, and he backed out of it. Skipping a bit later onto lap 5, the tyres are starting to go off quite badly actually, and Lewis Hamilton's all over the back of us as we make a mistake coming through the gap between the last corner and the last corner. As you can see, our pace has dropped off quite substantially as Hamilton's got the DRS in the slipstream. We can't cover the inside line quick enough, and we're going to have to try and brave it around the outside. We nearly run out of track, but we hang on to first place. Something that's going to come into our favour is that Spain's not the easiest track to overtake at, as you can see with the replay camera from Hamilton's point of view. You realise we saw quite late that we had to try and get over to the inside line. We couldn't quite do it. We do keep it within the track limits, and we hold on to the lead for now as we cut into lap 7. The tyres are screaming. We've got our recommended pit stop those next lap, and I was really struggling at this point. We've got a train of cars. It's like Spain 2013 with Rosberg in the first stint just holding everybody up. But we've gone a little bit deep at the end of the second sector, and Hamilton's taken the lead of the race back. As we're now desperate to try and get past the Brit in the Mercedes. Here's a replay of the move by Hamilton, and you just see we just go too deep into the corner. I think we locked. Wouldn't be surprised if we locked all the tyres there. We definitely locked 2 rear tyres. As you can see, when Hamilton was coming into the pits and was basically he was going to shove us into the wall, so we've had to pit a lap earlier than we would have wanted. Which hasn't really gone to plan, because We are going to get the undercut though. As you can see, Hamilton does get out ahead of us, and we will beat Sebastian Vettel out of the pit lane as well. I was hoping we were going to jump Hamilton. I think if the garages had been swapped around, we might have just beaten him. But as we come out now on the orange wall, prime tyres, and I will admit that in practice we didn't have the best pace on the prime tyres. These hard compound tyres just didn't really yield the grip, as Hamilton goes so slowly after nearly making contact with Miles Howard. We just drive into the back of him, and now we're running wide through turn 3 as we're trying to overtake him, but we're trying to get in track limits to get past him, and we do manage to do it into turn 4. Just checking that we don't have any damage. We're already putting some load through those hard compound tyres already, as the temperature in them already going a little bit orange. As you can see, we just beat the Toro Rosso out of the pits, and Hamilton got caught up. As you can see, the rest of the field have now come in for their pit stop, and we get so close to hitting Kimi Raikkonen as he holds up on the apex, and we just drive past Nico Rosberg with the momentum through turns 1 and 2 after they've just come out the pits on cold tyres. As you'll see this on the replay camera, look how close we're going to get to Kimi Raikkonen going through turn 1. How we didn't touch, I don't know. I was really cutting fine margins, and Rosberg was just plain slow out of turn 2. We cut on to a few laps later onto lap 12. We've got Nico Rosberg all over the back of us. And what I was going to say before was the AI on cold tyres are really slow, and that's also worked to our advantage a lot this season so far. And as you can see, Rosberg tried to brave it around the outside, we just run him out of road. And now onto lap 13, the tyres, these hard compound tyres are already starting to go off the cliff, and that's not good because we've got a lot of fast cars behind us. As Rosberg tries to go around the outside, we haven't left him much room, but he's kept it within the track limits. He's had good traction and he's through. We nearly make contact again, not banging wheels. We've got a yellow-green flag scenario. Felipe Massa's got a puncture up ahead. We dive it back on the inside of Rosberg. There is contact. We've run wide. Hamilton's now having a go as we lock our brakes and make contact again. We cut the corner slightly, and Kimi Raikkonen just drives around all of us as Massa pits for his puncture. And Kimi Raikkonen for Ferrari has now taken the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix, and here's how it all unfolded. It was all our fault, to be fair. It was nearly all our fault as Rosberg pulls off a stunning move around the outside. Fair play to Nico Rosberg as we try to go around the outside, around the inside, and jostling to try and find a gap. And to be fair, Rosberg did leave the door open and kind of didn't see us coming, and then gets taken out by Kimi Raikkonen. So Kimi wasn't completely in the clear out of all this either. But here's the cinematic view, and you'll get a better indication of how it all kicked off in the last few corners. For me, I think I do blame us for the contact with Rosberg, but I do think Rosberg turned in on us a little bit. Hamilton, we just locked our brakes and pushed Hamilton wide there. There's nothing we could do about that. It was my mistake, and Kimi just drives around the outside. And the problem was, I was rusty. I was a bit rusty when I recorded this, and as we now dive up the inside of Kimi Raikkonen on lap 14, as we're desperate to get the lead back, it looks like we have got the pace on the Ferraris. It's just the Mercedes that are quicker than us, and we've got Hamilton not so far behind in our mirrors as we're just trying to get past Kimi Raikkonen. Excuse me. We're just trying to get past Kimi. I was looking out for Massa as well, because I knew Massa had it was obvious that I could see on the minimap that someone had a puncture up ahead, and I was really concerned that that car was going to get in the way. As we've now got the DRS, we put it down into standard. You can quickly see how bad the tyres are looking already. Remember, Raikkonen and Rosberg have got 1 lap fresher tyres than us, as we're still trying to get past Raikkonen as we went deep into turn 1, and we're now trying to go around the outside of turn 3, and now we're on the outside line for turn 4 as well. Raikkonen just hanging in there ever so slightly. He doesn't leave us much space. We bang wheels, we're onto the grass. We're now going to dive it up the inside, and we've just got a little bit deep. Raikkonen hits us from behind, and Hamilton just drives clean past the pair of us to take the lead of the race. As that didn't go well for us at all, as we're really struggling now. We locked up a little bit going into those quick high-speed chicane, and we've now got Raikkonen trying to go up our inside. We've made contact and Raikkonen has been half a spin around, and that was my fault yet again. I hold my hands up, but at the time I didn't see Raikkonen. I wasn't looking in my mirrors. I was looking at Hamilton ahead, and I didn't see Raikkonen at all as Sebastian Vettel now drives past us. And here's a replay of the move that we make on Raikkonen as we're both sliding around. I think in hindsight maybe we should have all gone for a 2-stop, because it might, although it's a 25% race, Brazil for example is a 2-stop race, as is Mexico as well in some cases, as we tried to hang it around the outside, got pushed onto the grass, and we had the line but we just locked up slid. Raikkonen couldn't turn enough and just hit the back of us, and Hamilton just drove past the pair of us. As you can see, we ran wide going into that corner yet again, and Sebastian Vettel just drove past us as well. And as you can see, just a couple of corners later, we're going through the final corner, and we've got a bit of a swap on. We've ended up in the gravel, and we've lost a lot of time, and our race in the last 3 laps has just started to crumble. The car just lost grip, understeer and oversteer, and we just ended up in the gravel. But as you can see, on the final lap of the race, we've caught back up to Vettel. We've dived it up the inside at the end of the second sector. We've overcooked it. Vettel's just taken his line. You can see the rear tyres on the Ferrari just sliding around like crazy as we're desperate to get back past Sebastian Vettel. We've taken second place back. There is a little bit of contact as we barge our way through, honey badger style indeed. As you can see, we came from a long way back. Vettel, to be fair, left us the room, unlike Nico Rosberg on lap 13. And look at the slide from Vettel going through there as he clouted the curb. But it is Lewis Hamilton who leads the way. We're going to be second place in this race. It's a race we arguably should have won. We've had the pace to win, we just haven't had the consistency or the tyre wear to win. But Hamilton's won, we're second, Sebastian Vettel's third, and we get our 3rd podium in a row.
It's a win for Mercedes and a win for Lewis Hamilton. The British driver was the class of the field today and fully deserves his victory.
Ultimately, it's all about whoever reaches the checkered flag first, and today was his day.
Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
So Hamilton's won from us, Vettel. Rosberg recovered to 4th. Bottas was 5th. Raikkonen dropped down to 6th with contact with us. Nasser was 7th. Kvyat, our teammate, up in 8th. Maldonado was 9th. Carlos Sainz grabbed the last point in 10th, with Verstappen and Ericsson just missing out on the points. As you can see, Felipe Massa 1 lap down, finished last, and both Force Indias, which started in the top 10, finished. I can't really see on my preview, but they finished well down the order, down with the McLaren Hondas. In the Drivers' World Championship, we've dropped to 2nd as Hamilton scooped up an extra 7 points. He leads the championship by 3 points. Rosberg's struggling, he's down in about 6th place. But Mercedes do take the lead back in the Constructors, and we're 3rd. And the next race, it is, of course, my least favourite track, the Monaco Grand Prix. Goodbye.